Wes and John Mosier.
Dun, 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 dun.
We are one voice together, or we're one voice.
Vocally sound in sync. Oh, wait.
Sing it with me. We're
Oh yeah,
together.
Dun, 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 dun.
the chorus of the Comets.
This is the Sports Timeout Podcast with Jensen Maydew, Tony Karanko, and your host, Wes Underwood.
And welcome into the Sports Timeout Podcast, brought to you by Jeffersons. Free Fried Pickle Fridays. Be sure to head over for all this season's MLB Prime games. And be sure to visit Billy and his crew. Get some wings, grab a drink, and celebrate with your friends this April. And, if you're at it and have some time during the week, go check out Robert's Integrative Dentistry in Joplin if you're looking for that brighter, straighter smile. Or just want to look fresh, head out around the town and not have stinky breath. Be sure to schedule your appointment today at 417-622-0404. And last but not least, don't forget to check out TeeTime and Web City after you get that cleaning or you go enjoy some wings. Be sure to reserve your spot to play some golf or pickleball or, go enjoy happy hour, which should be starting pretty soon, 2 to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday, and get $2 off drafts and specialty drinks. And, they also have tournaments coming up soon. Pretty close, actually. I'm pretty certain. Have to talk to John on that one more time. But as of now, I think we're still signing up. And also, don't forget about half price Tuesdays. Get in there on Tuesday and get half price off your games, food, and whatever. If those don't intrigue you, get a nice coffee like I do and just sit there and watch sports for a little bit. Or, go out and watch the big screen now that the weather's getting nicer. Maybe not this weekend, but future weekends to come. Wes Underwood, Clint, Tony, and Jensen out. Sam joins us later in the show. We talk soccer with him and Moser, and Clint as well will be in that. And talk a little bit later there, though. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see your face. You got the current hat on,
Yes.
and it's good vibes. I am, of course, in LA. I don't know, was I in LA last time I did a pod? It might have been, but
I think you just gotten back. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. But either way, we're in the flush of a couple of sporting events. Good time to talk sports.
Yeah. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe and follow button on YouTube. And excuse me, first
personally,
up,
or them?
yeah, we'll talk baseball, and that's brought to you by our newest sponsor, Black Eagle Apparel. Do custom apparel, jerseys for any team, sport at the best prices. Go check out their website at blackeagleapparel.us and subscribe to their email list and get 25% off for your next purchase. So pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. Excited on that one. Taylor and his crew and all the others there. Excited. Go around the MLB a little bit, though, and man, what a rough weekend for the Royals going up against the Yankees, or, well, I guess rough week. Yankees are back in first after winning 3 straight over the Royals. Toronto right behind them. Boston tailing them pretty good. It's pretty close division. You got 4 games that separates first from last currently in the East, and then the American League Central. 6.5 games separates the bottom from the top. Chicago White Sox still struggling. They do have 4 wins, which is a lot better than they were at this time last year. Minnesota, Kansas City. Minnesota with 7 wins, Kansas City with 8. Kansas City in a little bit of a slump. They've lost their last 4 now. 3-7 in their last 10. Kind of fizzling out there a little bit. Guardians are at 9-9 after a loss yesterday, and the Detroit Tigers in first after a win against the Royals. Surprisingly, though, Royals are only 3.5 out of first. Guardians are 1.5, and after that it's Minnesota and Chicago. And then over in the West, we've got Texas Rangers in first, 2-game lead over the Mariners, 2.5-game lead over the Angels. Angels are looking to improve. They look good. Hopefully they can stay steady. I think the team that goes above 500 in that division ends up winning because the A's are 1 game below. They're at 3 games back. And the Astros, they're 2 games below, 3.5 back. So Over in the east of the National League, the Mets, even though Juan Soto ain't doing his thing, Mets are in first place over the Phillies. That's going to be a tight race, I feel like. Cubs are up in the Central over the Brewers. That's a pretty close division, too, in the Central. I guess the Central is a 3.5. Look, Padres, Dodgers, Giants, and Diamondbacks are going to be the team to beat. The Colorado Rockies, they're already out of playoff contention, right? They're 3-15. Can we just disqualify them already?
I think
And
so.
then,
I think so.
oh man, that's just horrible. Like, come on.
Especially since there's really not like a dominant team right now. I mean, the Padres have the best record, but there's a lot of kind of like if you look at the standings, there's a lot of kind of similar records.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden the Rockies. So you know that's not a good sign if it's like everybody's kind of middling and then you're still 3 and like 15.
Typically, you have your front runner by the end of the first month of baseball, and we're coming up about
We're getting
halfway through
close.
the first month, so we'll
And it's
see
like
if that
maybe the
holds true.
Padres. Yeah, we'll see. But I wouldn't hold my breath for the Rockies.
No, I mean they got a lot of rocky situations going on. They're 1-11 on the road, and they're only 2-4 at home, so that can be a big issue. But we'll go ahead and touch back on the Royals here. 6-4 at home, 2-8 on the road. 2-8 on the road is their big deal right now. Don't know what's going on. I guess if they can play 500 on the road and then stay above 500 at home, they make the postseason again. But I don't know at this point. Like all off season, hey, we need a power hitter. Well, we'll get you a guy who can lead off. Well, he's not batting above 180 right now. Jonathan India, I love the dude. Great guy. Right thought going into the off season and getting him. But batting right now getting over there. Click the wrong one. Bobby Witt Jr. staying solid. He's got a 307 average. And then Salvador Perez batting 200 currently. Pasquantino batting 188 because he's overthinking it every time he's at the plate. Michael Massey, 206. He's fluctuating up and down. You got Michael Garcia batting almost 300. He's batting 270. Kyle Isbell's batting 250. 357 for Mark Canha, and I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what they're doing there. Mark Canha was on fire when he was playing. I guess if he's hurt, okay, but we need to bring someone else in. And a lot of talk this offseason about Jack Caglione. Like, dude was raking it. And if you can tell that he's fine, go ahead and send him up to AAA. He's raking it in Northwest Arkansas right now. I think he's batting 365. If he can make it in AAA, I think by midseason you need to bring Jack Caglione up. I know the organization is wanting to bring these guys up slowly, but if this guy is raking and he's Bobby Witt Jr. caliber, why would you not want to have two of those guys on your team at the same time to be able to build that momentum, take some pressure off of other guys? Because India has been the leadoff. India is batting 185, by the way. And then the one that really kills me right now, MJ Melendez is batting .085. And is he a great fielder? Absolutely. But Tyler Tolbert and Darian Blanco haven't really even gotten a chance to shine. Tyler Tolbert, yeah, he's at 5 at-bats in 7 games played. Dario Blanco has 1 at-bat and is 0 for 1 because he came in a very awkward situation late in the game. Blanco last year had a lot of home runs towards the middle of the season, and I think he's a guy that you need to get ready to go. I mean, you have Bobby Witt Jr. doing his thing like he's supposed to. Salvador Perez, even though his average is low, he's still got 15 hits and has produced 5 runs, 3 two-baggers, and 2 home runs. So he'll be fine down the road. Salvy's always got this thing that he performs better after the first month for sure. Sometimes he does really well in the beginning. But then you got Michael Garcia. Look, if we're wanting average, then that's what we've got. Kevin Biggio comes in. He's batting 207. He's doing better than Hunter Renfroe. I think Renfroe needs to go bye-bye. Kevin Biggio needs more of an everyday. And, I mean, they played him yesterday, but... And then Drew Waters, I think he's got to go. Great story. Glad he made it back to the pros, but dude's got to go. And then Freddie Fermin, 167. He's your backup catcher for a reason. And Oh, a lot to be said here, and then don't even get me starting on pitching because it's just, I don't even know what's going on with the pitchers. Bubich has looked good, 24 innings. Let's see, where's his ERA? For some reason, we don't have an ERA. It's interesting. It's like the main point of a pitcher here, but Bubich with 4 games, Reagans with 4 games, Lugo, Lorenzen, and Waka. Okay, Waka's good. Lugo's good. Lorenzen showed that he can, but then all the starters have done their thing. And all of them have allowed, the only one that's struggled the most with home runs and given them up is Seth Lugo with 5. Base on balls, all of them are under 10 relatively well. Then you get into your bullpen after these guys are doing what they're supposed to. Bubich is at 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. Reagans is at 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. Lugo's producing 6. Lorenzen's producing 7. And Waka's around 6.5. Okay. I mean, rightfully so with how old they are. We got a fairly old rotation with a couple of youngins in it. Bubich and Reagans are kind of the younger guys, but up in innings. And then, I mean, just the bullpen. The bullpen is abysmal. Daniel Lynch is doing his thing. Estevez did his thing. Urseg's struggling. Zerpa's struggling. Zerpa's very much struggling. Cruz, Sisk, those guys, not that great right now. Maybe I'm singing a different tune by the end of the season, but Bubich leads the team in ERA, actually. There's one ERA. Cole Reagans is leading in strikeouts right now, 34 on the team. I think he's 4th or 5th in strikeouts in the league. Let's see. Team leaders on strikeouts. So it's Reagan, Bubich, Lorenzen has 17, Lugo, and Waka. Waka is not really a big strikeout guy. Waka is more of a let's get through the game. So not bad from your starting 5. Do we need one more pitcher? Probably down the road. Do we need more closers and a couple of long inning guys? Absolutely. So the Royals, yeah, the Chiefs, they're looking for a pitcher, Patrick Mahomes, right? Just yeah, got to get him in. Lucas Urseg has 6 holds already. Estevez has 5 saves, in the wins that the Royals have gotten. I'm telling you, this is a team that's going to struggle towards the postseason again. And do they make it this year? I think they very well could. Are they struggling right now? Absolutely. Did they have a really good spring? Yeah. But I think a lot of hype was there. So any extra thoughts?
No, I think you literally covered it player by player almost. So I think you got it covered. But yeah, I mean, baseball is always like this, right? It's kind of hard to, as much as we counted out the Rockies already, which I think that one might be safe to say. But
Yeah.
I think it's when you know the talent's there, but things are just kind of not meshing, and you still have 100 games left, more than 100 games left. It's tough to be too critical, but it's good to point these things out now.
Very critical.
And the Royals were similar, basically kind of in standings last year, if I remember right.
I think they started off a little hotter and then they dipped down and then they got hot again.
Yeah. It's just about getting hot at the right time.
Yep.
Or just having the biggest payroll in the world, like the Dodgers in New York. But you've covered it all. Then
moving on, we'll go into the NBA, talk playoffs and playing games tonight, 6 p.m., 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and TNT, True, Max, and then ESPN for Dallas and Memphis. Miami squeaked by. I don't say squeaked by. They pretty much dominated the Bulls, and I'm not even going to lie about it because I'm frustrated as a Bulls fan.
right.
Make it to the playoffs again. We lose by 19. Like, okay, what's our sign? Billy Donovan's not the answer. We got to bring someone else in. But, we'll see. But your thoughts on these 2 games today, and then really at the moment, we're not going to go in game by game. We'll go over these games, but then I want to know who you think your champion will be out of all of them.
Yeah, just the general sense of like For whatever reason, I just felt a fun sense of like, ooh, the playoffs are here recently.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because it's been an odd season. There's been a lot of teams that kind of have been ups and downs. The Thunder kind of seem like far away the best team, but it's like, can we really trust them? So it'll be interesting playoffs where it feels like, it always ends up coming down to like three or four teams. But yeah, it does feel like there's like nine teams that could go on a run. Maybe not win the championship, but go on a run. Kind of like the Heat did a couple of years ago, where they, as an 8 seed, made it to the finals. They didn't win, but anyways, yeah. So I think the play-in, this is always, but the NBA especially, the NBA is like might have the most authentic champion of the four main sports.
Sure.
If that makes sense. Like if you go year by year and you look at who won the championship, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. They were by far the best team or the second best team, and then they won the championship. Whereas football and baseball, there can be teams can go on runs. The Giants can Eli Manning all of a sudden go as a 6 seed, go on a run and win the Super Bowl. And baseball, forget it happens all the time, and hockey for that matter, where an 8 seed Oilers can win the championship or whatever.
Yeah.
But basketball, it really is like there's three teams that have a shot, as I was saying. So I'm intrigued. So really, all the playing games and those lower seeds is really just to say who's going to give one of those tough teams a hard chance, so that it makes their route to a championship harder, right? It's not like any of us are actually saying, "Wow, if the Heat win this, they'll have a chance to win the championship." It's like no.
Yeah.
But what it does is like, what if they give the Cavs a run for their money?
Sure.
And now the Cavs have to go to Game 7. They weren't expecting that. Now they have to play the Bucks next. So that's where these things kind of come in, where it's like no one's going to say the Mavericks are going to win the championship as a 10th seed. But if they steal a couple games from the Thunder, and all of a sudden it's like, well, that stunk. That this was supposed to be the easy game, it made it harder, and then our center got injured, and so that kind of stuff. That's why it's intriguing. Because otherwise, my younger self would be kind of bored by the playing games. Because it's like, well, none of these teams are going to win the championship, so who cares? Especially in the NBA. Again,
Your younger self is saying Dallas wins the championship too.
That's the other thing. This is by far, I guess technically it's not a playoff game, but was by far the least I've ever cared about a playoff win in my entire Mavericks fandom. Was last night when we won our play-in game against the Kings.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I mentioned this on the pod, but yeah, I am so. At least temporarily, I have suspended my fandom for the Mavericks. I live in LA, so I'm kind of just like shipping my Luka fandom onto the Lakers. Anyways, that aside from not caring about the Mavericks, I think these are interesting teams, though. I think, as I was saying, the Heat are interesting just because they're so well coached.
Yeah.
Like it would be like if, I know Belichick's older now, but let's say prime Belichick was coaching a terrible team that didn't have Tom Brady, but you found out that you had to play them in the playoffs. They're the 6 seed, and you're kind of like, darn it, they don't have a good team, but Belichick is going to find a way to make this a tough game.
Yeah.
And Spoelstra's like that for the Heat. Like they don't have to be Butler anymore. Basically, their best players are like Tyler Hero and a couple. But he's just such a good coach. He's going to find a way to make it tough for the Cavaliers, assuming that they still have to beat the Hawks. But I have a good feeling they will.
Yeah.
To get to the 8 seed, but. So that gets intriguing, and then you have the Warriors going on. So, but to summarize, I think the Thunder, Celtics, Cavs, and Lakers are the four teams that legitimately have a chance. I would say Lakers are fourth, just because the Luka stuff is so new. I'm not sure if that's going to form like all of a sudden into a championship team.
Yeah.
So my other wild card is the Bucks, and not just because I have some kind of relational. My sister works for them, but Damian Lillard just came back today.
Yeah.
It was cleared.
That's huge.
Giannis has basically been playing at an MVP level the past month. Has just been dominating teams. And if that works out nicely, that might be a tough matchup for the Cavs, which, like I said, if all of a sudden the Heat are taking them to 7 games, and now you got to play this red hot Bucks team.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So I'm not picking the Bucks to win the championship, but that's my sleeper team. That's like no one's talking about them right now, probably just because they've had their ups and downs. But
not even the Magic.
And then the Magic are really intriguing because I feel like they are another one that they're not going to beat the Celtics. They're not going to beat the Celtics, but they could give the Celtics they're like, man, their defense is just clobbering, and all of a sudden, the Magic wins 71-70. You're like, what happened? It's like, well,
Yeah.
their defense played well, and now all of a sudden it's going to Game 7 with the Celtics. I would love that, by the way, as a Celtics hater. But so yeah, I'm rooting for the Magic. Weirdly rooting for the Heat, and it's a fun playoff.
Yeah. Man, being around this area and then just connections with my family who loves the Warriors, and I'm just like, I don't know. But play-in wise, I'll take Miami. I honestly do like Dallas beating Memphis, but Memphis could give them a run for their money. I think that one's going to be a game to
That's a
watch.
toss-up. Yeah, that's a toss-up. I feel like they're well coached enough that they could beat Memphis.
But my four, man, gonna go. I'll go Thunder with you. Mm, Thunder Nuggets, just edging out the
Oh,
Warriors. I think the Warriors end up beating the Rockets. Steph in the playoffs is just when he's healthy is just something different. Um, then Cavs. I'll go Bucks too. Yeah.
no Celtics? Yeah, but Celtics in
No,
there.
I'm not
Okay.
going Celtics.
Okay.
I'll say Bucks, Cavs.
Okay.
I'll
Right
take
on.
that now.
All right. Yeah.
And after the first round, the Bucks loot now. No,
Yeah.
I do. I think the Bucks could be. You're right about Giannis and just that situation there with oh, I just lost
Yeah.
his name too.
Just when you have like a star guy like Giannis that can just like will be the best like he'll be the best player on
Excuse me.
he'll be the best player on every court he could play in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Right? He's better than anybody on the Cavs. He's better than
30
the
points per game and 60% field goal percentage as of late.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
All the other MVP candidates are on the West. So he actually would be like the best Eastern player right now.
Yeah,
But they've been kind of a messy team this year, so they could easily lose to the Pacers as well. So they're an odd team, but it's one of those like if you're betting on upside, then the Bucks would be the team that's like, who knows?
yeah. Lillard, like you said, there we go. Lillard
Yeah,
coming back.
Lillard, yeah.
Kevin Porter possibly being able to
Kevin
play
Porter
some
playing
defense. I
great.
mean,
Yeah.
not bad. 10 points a game too.
No,
So
he's been the godsend. That might be what they needed to get them over the hump, but
we'll
we'll
see.
see.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's a good like if you're a betting person that's like, ooh, I can get the Bucks for like a really cheap amount right now. That would be your bet, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily say they're actually the best team. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I think they definitely pull it out over the Pacers. And then from there, I mean, they've got the Cavs, so we'll see.
yeah, we'll
Unless,
see.
unless
Let's,
you,
let's eat.
yeah,
But you
it could
never
be
know.
interesting. But yeah, I've got the Bucks going. All right. Next up,
Now
we go over
mine.
to the WNBA talk
Oh,
draft.
WNBA.
Anything stick out to you here before I get on my rant?
Not so much. I haven't followed it. I know Paige was first.
Yeah,
Haley, she go to Orlando.
Van Lith?
Yeah, Van Lith.
No, she
Oh
came
no,
to
no,
the
no.
sky, baby.
The Sky. That's right. Not her hubby, her boyfriend is on Orlando. I
Yep.
think. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm super excited for Haley Van Lith. I mean, that was a steal to get her the 11th pick.
Yeah. Was that the 11th pick?
Yep.
Wow.
And she went after the power forward from Slovenia.
Huh.
So, and she's ranked high too. Like I think they have her 13th ranked at her position.
Girl
Or no,
Luther.
fourth ranked at her position. Overall ranked 13, and then a 90 grade. Van Lith was a 95 second position rank at her position, and sixth overall. So for a sixth overall
Yeah.
and second at their position rank for Haley Van Lith to go that way, and got to throw in there SI cover girl, right?
You're right.
'Cause
Oh, yeah.
that's super important. They threw that in at the draft, and I'm just kind of like,
Oh my God.
what's that have
a
to do with their
little thing.
draft stock?
Yeah, come on. That feels like we're talking girls now, so you have to throw in the
Yeah.
fun. It's good entertainment.
I mean, it's cool. I guess that's a one
Yeah, it's not a bad
once
thing.
in a lifetime thing. But
Yeah.
Maddie Westblood or Beld, sorry, 75 grade. I'm not too sure on her yet. And then Cole Blay coming in 71 overall. So they're second or their third and fourth pick in the second round. Okay, we'll see how they fit in. I'm really curious. LSU had Haley Van Lith and Angel Reese, and I'm really curious to see what those two can gel and do on the sky together. And with Cardoso being there, and then they bring in this new girl from Slovenia, like they're set to do some stuff this year. And I mean, you got Haley Van Lith, Reese, then you bring back Vandersloot. I mean, they could be hitting threes all day long. And I'm really excited for this one. I'm sad that Jensen's not in here on this one, but I mean, her and I were talking a little bit about the Van Lith, and like she's pumped for the sky because of that. And I was like, I agree. Like seeing what her and Angel Reese can do together. Then you have Cardoso there. I mean, that's going to be a triple threat. You got your down low and your two outside, and then you got your others who can just kind of set the course of the game. So it's going to be fun. But anything else to add, or are you good?
I think that's it. Yeah, I think it's a good. Some of these, I think the main thing with WNBA is that the fact that it's getting bigger, which is amazing. Sometimes it's just good to have like a personality, on top of your ability.
Yeah.
It's probably just nice for someone like this guy to be like, Haley Van Lith is a good personality that's going to represent our team.
For sure.
And that adds to the kind of slow but surely increase in fandom that the organization's gotten. So, yeah, I'm excited for it.
All right, next up we head into soccer talk. Check it out. And going to go into the Footy Forum, and that's brought to you by the Corner Kick in Neosho. Be sure to stop by the Corner Kick located at 1411 Blue Oak Lane, Suite C, Neosho, Missouri. They have the largest soccer store in Southwest Missouri, Northwest Arkansas, Southeastern Kansas, Northeastern Oklahoma. Anywhere else you plan on going there, Sam?
Well, I don't know. We'll probably keep traveling I-49. Maybe go to, I don't know. We'll see. I have an inkling that we may have another store by the end of the year, maybe, if things pan out. We'll see.
Okay.
But for now, the store down in Springdale is doing really well in Tawny Town, and Neosho's is busy with spring season, and we just want to make sure that if you've got a soccer need, we can fill it.
Talking Neosho last weekend, did you survive the sales?
Well, they were non-existent for when the garage sale weekend happened because of the weather.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that I've ever seen that happen. Usually people just do it anyway. But it was like the whole town collectively decided that they were not going to deal with the rain and just didn't do it.
Which is wild because it was like the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
We're like, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Usually they're like, it's raining. Let's just keep selling everything while it's soaking wet.
Yeah.
No.
They just didn't.
It was kind of nice, actually.
It was nice because I accidentally drove through town because I had to do something like through the middle of town without realizing it was garage sale weekend.
Yeah. Because
and I got to the store and I was like, whoa. I was like, dang, there's like nothing going on. I was
like this is nice.
An hour to get across the show during garage sale national holiday.
I usually just try to down.
All right, well, got a little bit to talk about this week, but before we do and get started, let's go ahead and watch this highlight video here.
And I cross a blackbirds, riding with they diligence. Kid more than death if you boys really know. This now is squared up, hold up.
Coming with the shotgun, dude.
I can't give up until like the last final whistle blows.
And yeah, shout out to AXR and great video there. What a game though, and we'll get right to it. Sam, last week we talked about you guys not being scored upon in a game, and just kind of waiting for that reaction. This last match against the Wolves, they scored before half. You guys were down for a little bit. How would you describe your team stepping up to handle that pressure?
Yeah, I think it was good to see. It's good to find out where you are with some adversity. Man, that match, that guy, I can't remember his name right now. The left winger for Arkansas Wolves he's the real deal. That guy is a baller.
He was quick.
What a player.
Quick.
Yeah, he was fun to watch. And the battle between him and Ethan Marino was one to watch all night. They were going toe to toe, so it was fun to see how EJ responded to it and battled it out with him. I thought EJ did a fantastic job with him. Then I felt like that game we had a couple chances early on before they scored.
Yeah,
Where we could have dictated the game, and I think ran away with it. I felt like we were the better team on the night. But football punishes you, if you don't put your chances away, you leave the door open, and luckily come second half we were able to really, really put on the pressure, and what a banger of a goal by Domi to tie the match in those dying minutes.
Yeah, and real quick, we jump over to Luden here and talk his incredible saves in the second half as well. And I mean, really in the first half too. I mean, that goal was pretty good by their player. And I mean, but do you feel he responded well after allowing that first goal of the season?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Lou made a couple huge saves to keep us in it. But that one goal, the goal that we conceded, that's one of those goals where you don't. There was nothing Luden was going to be able to do. In that situation, that guy had plenty of time to decide where he was going to put the ball, and Luden was exposed. He was in a bit of keeper's no man's land because he had to come out. But yeah, we didn't do a good enough job cutting off the initial pass. The play broke down when it came from our corner, which you never want to see as a team.
Yeah.
So it was a breakdown on our end. We had an advantage. We're down there taking a corner kick, and it came from a counterattack. Ball came into the middle. Sean went inside to go for a header, kind of collided with a couple guys. From my point of view, it looked to me like a foul. But when I've watched it on video a couple of times, I'm not sure. I think you could say
It could easily go both ways on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think to be fair to the refs, and I thought the refs did a good job on the night. I've had no complaints for any of the UPSL refs this year. I think they've done a fantastic job.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's fast, man, fast and physical. He blew down the wing and had all the time in the world to pick where he wanted to put it. And at that point, you're hoping he hits Luden with the ball or he misses the goal.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned Domi there, and get back to that too. Gets that nod there just in extra time. How pumped were you when that happened? What was your reaction on the sideline?
It exploded. I thought the whole place exploded.
Yeah.
AXR Productions, their video that they put out, if you watch the end of it, Xavi Hernandez just does such a good job with those videos with his company over there, and we really appreciate what he's doing. And if you watch that last 5-6 seconds, you can see as the video follows Domi to do his celebration, you can see the crowd in the background and what it meant. And yeah, it was phenomenal. So hats off to the team for fighting until the very end and getting the job done to earn us a point.
Fair. All right. Y'all get the bye week this week. team's mindset going into the bye week so far? What have you kind of heard from them, and then what are expectations as a coach? Don't get to really ask this to a coach that often. So what are those expectations going into a bye?
Yeah, I think rest and recover while we can. Focus on the details, go over some film study and see, you know, where did we go wrong? Where can we improve? What things worked, what things don't work, you know. Dial in on the details, perfect the details. That's what Coach Rob would harp on. That, you know, Rob does such a fantastic job of making sure that we are always going from better to best at everything that we do. So that's a big part of it. On the flip side, saw today that FC Bartlesville played Side FC and won 5-1. So they've taken over the top of the table on goal difference currently. So this game versus Little Rock coming up next Sunday is a big one.
Sure. Fair enough. We're excited. Definitely getting ready to get back out there on the pitch and us being up in the booth, and good things coming, because next week when we get back to it, Moser, you and I up in the booth,
Sure.
gonna give it our best.
We are.
Excited to commentate up there, and proud to be with you for sure. And yeah,
That's a good experience. I think too, what that's allowing us to bring to the Comets FC club as well is the passion and emotion of what soccer really is.
yeah,
Like Sam commented on the crowd base that was there in the stands, man, it was, I think we almost had another 100+ people in the stands at the game.
really good showing.
Huge showing. And that's our second, home game. So for us to have that already is huge. And I think they're feeling it. And I think they'd be out there even with losing if we were doing that, but we're not. The players are coming out. They're playing their hearts out. Talking to Dez after the first game, that he's not a young guy, and he was only supposed to play, I think, 30 minutes, and he played the whole game.
Yeah.
And so, it's cool to see. It's cool to see it. I see it from the players' side as a player, and now sitting in a booth and getting to talk and commentate alongside with Wes. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it, and couldn't be prouder to be with the Comets right now in Joplin.
It helps make it a little easier when it's a 3-1-0, right?
It does, but I think that's also what's really cool about being up in the booth is seeing the whole thing. Sam talking about that play that Khalees made in the middle on that counter play by the Wolves. From one perspective, easily you could be like, man, that's a foul. But from another perspective, like the refs, he didn't see one. So it's a play on, and it's a counter, and then it's a goal.
Yeah.
But Lou kept his head up. He kept his voice up. Lou didn't stop yelling the whole game, which I love. I was also a goalie, and I know that position very well. And if you are quiet, your team's quiet. And Lou didn't stop. So his team didn't stop. And then Domi puts it away for us to tie it. And I mean, gorgeous, beautiful, perfect. I loved it. Loved it all. So I'm excited. Super proud to be here too as well with you guys. Thanks, Wes, for letting me be on.
Yeah, no problem. All right, next up, we're going to head west, and we're going to talk sporting. And after a promise against St. Louis and a win, good game there. I mean, we were talking about it in the booth the week before too, and but now it's, can they find solid ground against, the Quakes? I mean, 4-2 home loss to Portland last week after being tied at 2-2, and just, again, the past Hansum second half just crumbles from underneath them. And I mean, you can blame referees and stuff on that, but I mean, just to see where it was and watch footage from that, just a few questionable calls. But then again, you got to be able to rebound from those questionable calls, and just how they're not able to. They let it get them down, and for some reason, that leadership is not there on that team, even with the signings they've had this offseason. And just, you thought that it would kind of be there, and you maybe hoped that Russell would be back or Melia would come in and just kind of guide those guys. But Melia ends up retiring, and Russell's still kind of a name that's out there. But any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'd agree with the exact sentiment that you're saying is that those times when, like we just talked about with Comets FC, when adversity hits, how you deal with it, so much of that comes down to, it's no different than any other sport with muscle memory, and you have to be able to take a deep breath, get yourself composed, and do the things that you know you're supposed to do that make you successful.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, then you get yourself right back in it. If not, you fall apart, and that's what we saw.
Yeah, they looked great too in the first half, honestly.
For sure.
Especially against, a team that's as strong as Portland Timbers are.
Yeah.
They've always been a pretty good powerhouse club. And I was fingers crossed, I was holding on that they would pull another win out, especially after that 2-0 win over St. Louis. And to see what you were saying just kind of crumble out beneath their boots on the field. And they're just missing one person to kind of bring them all together. So who knows what's going to happen. The Quakes are playing pretty decent ball too right now. They're scoring quite a few goals in their last few games. So
I'm trying to get a hold of Ronaldo right now, but hey.
they're not just
just
winning,
kidding.
but they're definitely scoring goals too. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can figure something out while they're training right now and put it together for them against them.
For sure. Anything to add in, Clint? You good?
Hey, sorry. I like the addition of me halfway through this pod of like, yeah, I think they'll be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just like you said, I feel like there's a lot of the energy in KC is definitely for the current right now. And probably rightfully so, just both in terms of leadership and play.
Right.
Sure. And we'll go ahead and swap over to that real quick and finish out with that. And I mean, man, the Current are just on fire. Hopefully this international break was good for them and being able to take that rest and being able to get that relaxation that they needed. Got to see a couple of them go play for international teams, and then just watching social and stuff. I mean, they enjoyed their time off like they should, and especially at 4-0 and going up against the Dash. Man, it's going to be interesting, and I'm really excited to go to this game, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to gut out a few questions this time because I do have them for sure. It's just I always get down there and I'm not able to ask questions because, that front row, Sam, you've been there, that front row just dominates the question line, and then you're in the middle or the back, and then it's like, oh, all right. But
They do, but I think we just need to get there first and take a seat.
I wish we could. Like, they always know the right time to hop out because they're local media.
Yeah.
And I think that's our disadvantage. Maybe just head down there and just wait.
I was gonna say, just go watch the game on your phone.
Yeah. Well, they've got it on the TV down there too. So
Probably have it. You're probably good. Just go sit there, chill out.
yeah, for sure. But yeah. And odds this weekend, you think they stay unbeaten?
I mean, I think so. I think right now, kind of like Clint added, the movement right now in soccer in Kansas City is definitely in the Currents motion per se. And like you said, they got a little break there with the international stuff. They're going to probably come back even healthier and stronger than they have been. And I see them probably putting a good hurting on the Houston Dash and keeping an undefeated season going. Put a little salt on there.
Yeah, a little salt, dash of salt.
They'll be eating good, I think.
Yeah, barbecue for sure.
It's also funny because it doesn't have anything to do with the Mahomes connection. Maybe
Right.
maybe they have more push because but it's
Everything
like
connected to Mahomes. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, that
Philadelphia has more push.
Well, it's just kind of funny because you think my first instinct is like, oh, well, maybe he has some money, but it's like, no, basically, one thing, it's Brittany that's doing it, but it's basically just they have great leadership and a great, they're like lucked out with this Chewinga.
And it's new, it's fresh. It's
Well, that
something
helps too. But how good they are is kind of
right.
amazing how it's unrelated to,
It's my team spirit.
It's
Okay.
what
Okay.
the spirit. There you go.
It disappears in and out.
But no, yeah, good points for sure. I mean, just it's complete polar opposite. It's so weird at how one and Mahomes is on the leadership of both of them too. It's like if
Is
he's
he
got a
with is he
voiceover
with
with the
Sporting?
current, why doesn't he have a voiceover with Sporting? So
Oh, okay.
crazy.
That's true. It is Brittany. Does he have any ownership with Sporting? We
Yeah.
should know that, I guess. Oh, he does?
Yep.
No, I know it's more so
Royal Sporting, the current,
Yeah, he
the
pretty much was like,
hockey
everything
team up
KC.
there.
"Give me this much money, I will buy into everything."
Yeah.
Yeah, he took his whole contract and invested into Kansas City pretty much.
Sharper Image in the Plaza. He like bought that out. Just
Probably.
everything KC. Does that still exist?
But, all right. On that note, and great stuff from Sam Moser. Clint had some technical difficulties, but got back in the show there, and we'll now head into the local sports update brought to you by Ghetto Tacos. On Friday, get 10% off burritos all day long. They do close at 8 p.m. Located at 536 Northeast Street, Webb City, Missouri. Drive-through available. Make sure you call 417-717-1261. And hope you all get over there and get some of them burritos. I got a crunch wrap yesterday. Phenomenal. It was beautiful. So good. Queso in there. I ended up getting the steak. Oh man. I might have to go back tonight and get one too. But you never know. Stormy weather, it's like, hey, I don't want to cook tonight. Let's go eat out. So, but no, all weekend, get over there, get you some ghetto taco. And well, on that note, we talked Missouri Southern. They'll be at home softball wise. They were there yesterday facing number 3, University of Central Missouri. They lose 11-5. They get them again today at noon, and then tomorrow doubleheader today. They get them today at noon and then 3 p.m. And yeah, that's baseball. Wow. For some reason, I thought that said softball up there. I apologize. Central Missouri number 3. I thought that sounded a little funky that Central Missouri was number 3. But Warren Turner Field, head on over today. Wind playing a big factor. Hopefully they can get some games in before this rain hits. Get both of those in there. Now we'll head over to softball. And 32-16 overall for the Lions. So super good record there and fun to watch. They played yesterday at 2 p.m., won 10-0 and 5 innings. They are here at home as well over Fort Hays State. They wrapped up that series and went 2-0, won 2-1 the first game. And so next up we have the University of Nebraska Kearney in a doubleheader today, starting at 11 a.m. and then 1 p.m. to finish up. And that's out at Pat Lapierre Softball Complex. So if you're in the mood for baseball, softball, season's coming to an end. We got one more series left, and then it's time for the MIAA tournament. It's crazy at how fast this season's gone for softball and baseball. I can't believe we're already talking MIAA tournament. It's like we just got done with basketball, but oh man, excited to see that Missouri Southern's doing well there, and Coach Blackney's got a good group going, and then Bryce Darnell's got his team going as well. And I mean, both respected coaches in the MIAA, both respected coaches around here. What Blackney's been able to do over the last few seasons there at Missouri Southern has been awesome for softball. And yeah, I'm just super excited to see where that goes. You catch any games lately out of baseball or softball from Missouri Southern? Have you been able to watch any or see any of the scores?
No, it's tougher in LA, but it was nice going to the basketball game that we went to recently.
Yeah.
You still got that jersey raffle,
I do. I won.
and
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah,
Got
so
it
still keep
hanging
in
proudly in the man cave.
Yes.
But all right, well, On that note, we head into the 2-minute warning brought to you by Trackside Burgers. They're open at 1515 West 10th Street. Go get some weekend barbecue today, this weekend. Also, kids eat free on Monday as long as parents buy an adult meal. Be sure to get over there this new year. Well, we're 4 months in, but hey, you won't regret it. Check them out. And yeah, Joplin this weekend, man, it's going to be interesting. They've got a game today. It's at Central and Springfield. Hopefully they'll get to play it. 4:30 is the slated time. Hopefully they'll be able to get around before the weather gets bad. Neosho, they're 13-4. Excuse me. And they will be playing against Pea Ridge. No, they're heading to Pea Ridge. So they're going to do a little Arkansas stint. They'll be down in Pea Ridge 5 p.m. tonight. And then Carthage, 9-5, christening their new baseball stadium this year. Fairgrove, Logan Rogersville, I believe they're in a tournament. We'll see. I don't know if that's JV or not. That's the only thing I don't like about the Mitchell website. Fairgrove, for sure. They're going to be at home. Fairgrove's 14-2. That'll be at noon today. Whoever plays Logan Rogersville, if that's JV, that's at 2 p.m. and it's at Logan Rogersville. Webb City, they will be playing. Excuse me, man. These allergies get me right now here in Missouri for sure. They're at Seneca, 10-3 Seneca at that, and they'll be over there today at 4:30 p.m. Hopefully, again, they'll be able to get these games going before this weather starts. Supposed to have a lot of bad weather here. Tornadic activity later on this evening. So, yeah, on that note, it's the end of another episode. Stay safe. Be careful out there. High winds expected, hail, typical Missouri weather. Clint, you left after the first storm, right? Or no? I know you were here for the snow.
I left after there was a storm. I was definitely here. I remember hearing about it when there was the tornado.
Yeah, that one was not
Also,
fun.
did you watch the tornado Netflix
I did.
doc?
I did.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we talked about it on the show or not, but
I knew 50% of the people on there.
yeah, that was the crazy part. Yeah, I knew Cecil. He's my friend Sarah's friend, my cousin Sarah's friend.
Yeah.
I thought it was an interesting way to do it. I think the people that kind of were complained about things that weren't in it, it was kind of. I mean, it might be a question of should it have been a mini series, I guess, but
Yeah.
you have to consider someone that's living in, Maine or Florida is not really going to want the full on detail for detail of the thing. They just want the kind of what happened. Oh man, this thing destroyed a town, and then kind of move on.
Yeah.
So I think it did well in showing that of like it literally just went through the exact center of the town, which is kind of unique to these tornadoes. So I thought it did a good job of that, and the people they chose as to make it personal was interesting, and so it was pretty cinematic.
Yeah, I mean, Chad Crawley, I guess I never knew he was here. Because I don't even remember Hetty like pitching over to him when he was on broadcast and stuff. So that was cool to see.
Have you heard of that name?
Crawley? Yeah, I've heard of him now. He's like Hetty said it too. He's more of a YouTuber, TikToker type guy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So
yeah, that was pretty cool.
And he does have a meteorology thing. I don't know if it's a degree or whatever, but he is able to be like a legit meteorologist. So
yeah, no, you start that young, I guess.
Yeah. But
anyways, yeah, I'm in LA, and that was a good pod.
Everything settled down over there.
It has. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got just back to business here.
Sweet. Well, we'll see you next week on the Sports Timeout. Thanks for tuning in and take care.
Bye, everybody.